Ah, this is an ominous looking one. Tell me the guy on the right isn't a little bit anxious on this. This is on the left side as we're facing the front earlier, and it's on the bottom right side of that wall. I can only imagine what each of these groups implies, but it's certainly a constituency. The men on top, the women here below. The woman with the crown is interesting. Could that be a depiction of Mary? I don't know. Here again, the men holding the scarf with little people in it. Is that a symbol for we the populace? This is interesting. I've seen it in other European churches inside, not so much outside, but what it is a man is buried underneath that headstone, which is laid into the foundation. This is a pretty fountain right underneath the right front corner as I came into the monastery. And now from the other side of it, I'll get more close-up detail. Perhaps birds, but they're on top. White birds, and then finally those birds there, and then this golden bird. This panel, which is on the front left end of the right side as we were facing it, depicts various ways that the devil gets his due from you. I think from what a guide was saying, they also reflect the kind of sins that you might commit, like greed, that sort of thing. My guess is you need to be able to read those little symbols. It doesn't appear that, like the Chinese museum I was in, where the characters actually, in the devices they carried and in their facial looks, depicted what the theme was. Here, this stairwell, or whatever you want to call it, is just pretty. Notice it has a bell halfway up, and some graphic there that we'll take a little look at. Notice a lot of the wood. And panning along the right side at this level, you'll notice lots of various kinds of detail at the corners in particular. Notice how they painted that realistic cat right on that railing. I think that's so clever. Like Mad comic books, it's sometimes in the detail that you find some fun nuances. The entrance is off to the right there. There's the front. This is the left side as we were facing it from the front. And here a small entrance, probably for the officiating priests during a mass, giving them access to the church itself. And you wonder if it had a particular significance to that use. Now we're at the back where the altar is. Corridor with a simple roof. And here it appears probably facsimiles and explanations of documents that are important or relevant to this place. Now we have a view of the fortress tower. And the view looking further to the left as we came in to the monastery on the back wall, including that what looks like a pulpit up there. Just to look inside this portion, here another double fountain. The water in this area is good. They apparently do not have anything like Gerardia, and they place a great value, as they should, on the purity of their water. Okay, here I'm looking at the pulpit, I'm calling it, on the rear wall, and I'm going to pan the left wall of the monastery, left as perspective as I entered. It's a fairly large place. Not like the other much smaller, much more modest monasteries. Looking up at this side of the tower, these holes that you see in here, I think, are for toilets. I think you just dumped it out. And it ran down here into some kind of a horrifying swill at the bottom. Oftentimes with castles there was a moat, so the moat became the sewer. And notice here also are angled holes for firing a missile of some sort, whether they had guns, whether it was bow and arrow or whatever. And here various holes. Again, I'm thinking these round holes simply held posts that would have provided awnings at various levels at various times. This stone probably is part of the sewer system that carries that water that flows endlessly away through the monastery. Now I'm going to pan the right side, or correction, the left side of the monastery core. It's those arched areas and the domes underneath them that we looked at earlier. As you know, I love the views upward in architecture. I can only wonder what a magnificent noise those, what look like 5 or 6 bells. It looks like there's at least 4 small ones of different sizes, and then 2 much larger ones. And perhaps more I can't see from this vantage. And I wonder what this is. It looks like something very old. It's probably a clock. An old version of that. Yes, it is a clock. See the swing down below? There, you can see it. Like the one I saw in the market yesterday. Behind this door apparently is the old monastery kitchen, which is undergoing repairs probably for the next 3,000 years. We can't see that. And now I want to look more closely into these 2 arches. This will be from the left rear corner of the monastery, all as far as I can see to the right.